All right, so welcome everyone to our little wellness hangout. These hangouts are just a fun way to learn more about essential oils. We're going to be doing them more and more regularly as a team. So whether you're joining live or maybe you are watching this as a recording later on, know that for right now, we're going to be offering these very regularly. You can always find the latest class, the latest registration information on magicwithkatie.com/events, or just by checking in with a wellness advocate that sent you or checking into some of our groups or my Facebook page. And the reason we're doing this is we want these wellness hangouts to be as close as possible to all of us just sitting around at a kitchen table with a box of oils in the middle. Maybe we've got a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, some water, and we're learning about different ways in which we can take care of our health in maybe a little bit more natural way. Or maybe you've been here for a while, you've already got some of the doTERRA products into your home, and you're looking to learn more about how you can utilize the power of plant magic in your home, how you can really start to incorporate. I find that when we come to these workshops, whether it's our first time here or our 100th time here, we usually can take a little piece of nugget, a little knowledge, and we can absorb it in maybe a different way than we've absorbed it before. And we can use that knowledge to go forward and to create wellness in our home. So if you're here, give yourself a big hug, pat on the back, whether you're watching this as a recording or later. But I really want this experience to be as much of an experience for you of sitting around that kitchen table with me as possible. I mean, I wish we could all be sitting around my kitchen table right now instead of all online, but I feel super blessed that we are able to meet online and we have this technology to bring us all together. I love the Maya Angelou quote that says, when we know better, we do better. And so with this knowledge, we can take it and we can create change in our lives to be more empowered with our health. So thank you everyone for joining today. If you are on here live, I would love for you to go into the chat box, find the chat box. This is where I want you to ask your questions, interact. I want to hear what's going on with you. And, but just for right now, what do you want to learn today? So maybe this is your first time, your 100th time, your 10th time coming to one of our workshops. What do you want to learn today? And I know Jill already popped into the chat and said, I want to improve or maintain a healthy lifestyle. Yeah, I want to live this wellness lifestyle. When I first got started in doTERRA, I was a mama of two little boys. And I mean, I had doTERRA in my home, but the first time I actually went to a class is I was a mama with two little boys and I was seeking solutions. My little one had, he was about 4 months old and he had started getting eczema spots all over his body. And I wanted a way to figure out how to support his little body. I had taken him to the doctor, which is totally fine. We're going to talk about taking, the doctor plays a role in our life, but I didn't really want to follow the route of what I was being told would be the solution to his eczema. And so I started to dive deeper and started to get curious. And I went to that first wellness workshop, really looking for solutions for him, seeking solutions for him. And I found a whole lot of solutions for myself. So why are you here? What do you want to know? Jot that down on a piece of paper, even if you don't jot it in the chat. Maybe you're watching the recording. Just why are you here? And ask yourself that question, because I think sometimes we sign up for these classes, we watch these classes, we never pause to think like, hey, I was just kind of curious, looked at it was out there, I'm doing it because I feel like I'm supposed to do it. Why are you really here? I want to know. All right. Now, as we go in, and let me see if I can get this going here, we're going to start to talk about natural solutions today. So you're here because you want better health, you want to find freedom in your health, maybe you want better sleep, you want better something. We're going to look at that in just a second, but you're here because you want to learn about the power of natural options. You're running up against a brick wall and you want to figure out, hey, how can I take charge of my own health? And so if we look at this chart, these are some of maybe the top 7 areas. I've been working with people in their health for over 12 years now, and I've helped thousands of people in their health. And what I've seen over and over and over again is there's usually about 7 main areas where we're kind of feeling sluggish in our health, where we're like, hey, if this issue would just go away, I would feel better. And so I would love for you to either jot those down on your piece of paper, drop them in the chat again, drop the number of what you want some support with today. I know that maybe it's digestive issues, maybe it's headache, pain, inflammation, immunity. You keep getting sick over and over and over again, and you can't figure it out why. You've got some stress and anxiety, some sleep issues. Also, chronic pain is a big one that we come up against. Again, that pain, headaches, inflammation, those different kinds of things. So what do you want to address in your health today? Again, is furthering that conversation or that question that I just asked of what do you want? Like, why are you here? And this is just taking it a little deeper. Where is an area that you want to address? What do you want to find a solution for? What are you seeking a solution for? And I ask these questions because when we know what we're solving for, it's easier to find the solution. If we know what we're solving for, it's easier to find the solution. I want you to think about that. If we're going on a road trip and we don't know, we're like, hey, spring break's coming up. We've got this coming up in our home in a couple of weeks. We know, like, what is the first question we're going to ask ourselves is, where are we going for spring break? We'll figure out the hotel arrangements and what we're going to do and the food and the transportation and all of the rest of the details. But we have to first know, where are we going? What are we solving for? It's the same way in your health. Where do you want to go in your health? Why are you here? What do you want to do? Okay. What are we solving for today? Right? And maybe there's a whole lot of going on, but what I'm going to be showing you in this class is I'm going to be showing you how the majority of these 7 areas, they're actually all interlaced. They're all intermingled. They all dance together. And that's one of the beauties of when we look at natural options or plant medicine, is that we're going to get to the root of these health issues and these concerns so that we can start to create that plan, that path for healing in your body. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we kind of have some bullet points today that we're going to look at. We're going to look at, okay, why are we talking about natural options? Why is doTERRA so effective, or any natural options that we're looking at? Why is this effective, and how does it play a role with our modern approach? We're going to look at the 3 root causes of disease in our bodies and, just in general. And then we're going to look at the role that essential oils can play in those. I'm going to give you options. I don't believe in just telling you like, hey, here's all the things that are going on. No, I want to give you a simple solution so that you can move forward, right? Not an overwhelming solution, but simple solutions that you can start to take those steps forward to solve for whatever that is that you're solving for today. So we've got some increased energy, improve or maintain your healthy lifestyle, better health in general. Those are some of the things that we have going on, okay? And then at the very end, I'm going to teach you how to bring these options into your home. And if you already have them in your home, you're still going to want to stay on the line, because there are some really fun things going on in doTERRA this month that I want to share with you. Okay. And again, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat, or if you're watching this as a recording, I want you to jot them down, and then you're going to have a way to connect with me so that we can chat about what you had going on, and we can find some solutions for you. Okay. So let's first look at the approach, this modern approach versus a natural approach to medicine. Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you is there's no wrong or right for either way. I believe that it is not necessarily an or, but it's an and both. We can use them in both ways. I will say, through my journey and really learning that natural approach and getting more and more confident with the natural approach, my family has had to have very little exposure, or we haven't had to use the modern approach very often. Right now, when my son sprains his ankle, we might need to get an x-ray. When my another son has something going on, I might take him to the doctor so the doctor can help me figure out what's going on with him. And then I have that modern approach for him, but I'm more than likely going to use the natural approach once I know what's going on. I think that a lot of times we think if we start to use essential oils, or we start to embrace these natural options in our lives, that we're anti-modern approach, we're anti-doctor, and that could be the furthest thing from the truth. We're going to show you how to blend both of them together. And so the modern approach This is like going to the doctor, taking prescriptions, that kind of thing. It's designed to manage the symptom. It's like putting a Band-Aid on the wound. It's there to help it, but it's not going to actually, it's going to increase our quality of life just a little bit, and it might get to the root, and it's going to kind of help mask the symptoms, but it's never going to get to like the root of what's going on, right? And a lot of that is because the modern approach, so that everything can be the same always, and they can have clinical trials and things like that, the modern approach is always going to be more of a synthetic ingredient, right? And because it's a synthetic ingredient, our body doesn't fully understand it. It can kind of understand it. Again, we're going to go in our health from like here to here, right? We might be able to drop our lipids or drop our blood pressure, but we're never getting to the root of what's going on. And so because these agents are synthetic, right? Our body doesn't understand them. And so then we can have the side effects. And before we know it, we're the average American that is 65 years old and we're on 13 different prescription medications, right? Again, nothing absolutely wrong with that, but most of the time, that's not making us actually feel any better. It's just getting our biomarkers in the right area, but we're still not feeling our best, right? So also, are we any healthier? This is the model we've been following in the United States. Most of us that are joining us are going to be in the United States. This is the model that we've been following for quite some time, but yet we are one of the sickest nations in the world. So is this making us healthier? No. It's not. $6.5 trillion a year is spent on global healthcare, and we're no healthier than we were before. So what the natural approach does, and this is when we start talking about essential oils or natural foods and things like that, we're actually getting to the root of what's going on. Our bodies, right, are never going to heal, prevent, or treat disease, right? If somebody tells you that they have a miracle thing that's going to heal your whatever, prevent disease, whatever, it's actually untrue, okay? Whether it's modern or natural, we're never going to heal, but our body can do those things. Our body can prevent disease. Our body can boost our immune system. We can do things for our body. And so the tools that we use in our daily lives, how we're taking care of our human body, our physical, emotional, and spiritual body, is going to be a component of our body being able to do those things, okay? And so when we're using a more natural approach, we're getting into the root cause because we're creating environments in our body that can be healed. Because these essential oils and natural products, they're natural. They're what our bodies were designed to understand. And because of that, our bodies can actually utilize all those things. And we have very little side effects from that, because it's like eating broccoli. It's like eating fruits and vegetables. It's like getting vitamin D and sleep. Our bodies understand those things, and we don't have side effects from that. And so it's safe. And again, benefits without the side effects. Again, you might be doing all the natural things, but your body still might need the modern approach, and vice versa. So they work together. It's not an or, it's an and both. How can we use them and both? So that was the first topic. Now so this is why we're looking at natural options with doTERRA. We're just saying, hey, how can we support our bodies naturally? How can we get to the root cause of what's going on? And now we have to also understand what is creating these issues in our body. Why do we have aches and pains? Why do we feel like crap? Why do we have, you name your poison. What do you have going on in your life that you're like, hey, is there something besides like improve or healthy lifestyle? What else is going on? And there's three main causes of disease in the body, and that's nutritional deficiencies, inflammation, and toxic overload. So if we understand, again, we're going to get to the solutions in just a second, but the first thing I want to talk about is what is creating. We got to understand what's going on so we can solve the problem. What problem am I solving for? Okay, nutritional deficiencies, inflammation, toxic load, you bring them all together, and 99.9% of the human issues in the body are coming from these three things. So let's first look at nutritional deficiencies. These are some studies that were done recently, and this was the dietary intake of adults 19 years and older. And what they found was that the majority of people were deficient in some of our key our key thing and our key thing. So 95% of the population is deficient in vitamin D. 94% of the population is deficient in vitamin E. 61% of the of people are deficient in magnesium. Remember that one, because we're going to talk about that one. Magnesium is a crucial nutrient. So we have macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are going to be things like our carbohydrates, our proteins, our fats. Our micronutrients are going to be our vitamins and minerals, okay? All of these together are creating this full picture of health. But how can our body do what it needs to do if 95% of us are deficient in some of these key minerals, in these key micronutrients? So it's a really big deal that we need to fill in these gaps. So a lot of people will tell me, oh, I eat healthy. Well, here's the thing, our food supply is not the same as it was 100 years ago or 150 years ago because of mass cultivation of products and, you know, how we're growing our foods. A lot of what we're eating doesn't have the nutrients it needs. And then we throw in fast food, we throw in processed food, we throw in the majority of the food that is being sold to us in the supermarket, and it is void of the nutrients our body actually needs. And I look at it as our body is a giant jigsaw puzzle. And if we have all the pieces to the jigsaw puzzle, we can see the picture clearly and we have the best, you know, thing in front of us. But if we don't see, if we have it where it's the opposite, and, you know, we don't have all these nutrients in our body, it's like the jigsaw puzzle pieces are missing. Okay, so that first is that nutritional deficiency. The second root cause of disease is our inflammation in your body. This is a huge one, and your inflammation is coming from the lack of nutrients, the toxic overload. They kind of, I probably need to change my slide where it's like 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 root causes. They're really in a cycle and they work all together. Okay. So if we have some inflammation going on, how many of you have some of these things going on? Autoimmune disease, cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative disease, gastrointestinal disorders, like anything going on in your stomach, different types of cancer, mental illness, joint pain, metabolic disease. Metabolic disease is what the majority of us have. That's going to incorporate some things like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, thyroid dysfunction, hormone dysfunction, different things like that. So these are all the types of inflammation in the body. So if we can get to the root cause of what the inflammation is, we might be able to pick up some things. Okay. So the second one, or the third thing that is like working and synergistically in our body is also going, again, contributing to the inflammation, you know, all of it's working together, is our toxic load on the body. So our toxic load is all of these things that are weighing us down. So we've got our home and personal care, our toxic environment, stress, negative thinking. How many people you kind of like, like, you know, it can be dryer sheets, right? It can be the conditioners you're using, the soaps that you're using, and all of them. And a lot of things, really, the toxic overload on the body is usually the silent piece of what's going on in our health, but it is causing inflammation. It's causing additional stress on our body, and our body can't filter anything out. So the combo of this is leading to some of these health concerns that we have going on, our lack of sleep, whatever, you know, increasing our energy, some of those things are all coming into play. So let's go back and let's start to look at some solutions. I'm going to just really briefly touch on some of my top solutions to get us going in the right track, right? So we've got this nutritional deficiency, inflammation, and toxic overload. How can, like, and again, remember, we're taking this as a natural approach. So we're not going to isolate any of the things that we have going on. We're going to bring them all together. So, and that's what doTERRA has done with the products that we have, is that we've brought them all together. So we're not just addressing one piece of the puzzle, we're addressing all of it, right? And when we look at how doTERRA is set up, we have something called a wellness lifestyle pyramid. At the bottom of that is going to be our nutrition, right? Our nutrition and our food. Now, here's a big disclaimer that I like to tell everybody. You cannot supplement your way out of crappy lifestyle. Okay, listen to that again. You cannot supplement yourself out of a crappy lifestyle. So, but sometimes these can get us moving forward in the right direction. Okay. It's going to get us moving forward in the right direction. So we start to make healthier changes, right? Like swapping the soda for more water, swapping, gallons of coffee for a little bit more water, swapping sugary, carb laden meals for ones with more fruits and vegetables and some lean proteins, right? So we're going to start to shift with that. And so let's look at the supplement. So the supplement industry in the United States, because a lot of people are pretty smart, they understand our bodies aren't getting what we're getting. So they want to bring us a supplement. But they also understand there's a lot of money to be made in supplements. And so what they do is they put together some supplements. Now look at this. There was a study that had 776 dietary supplements were studied. And the majority of them, what you would find if you went to a supermarket, a health food store, you clicked on that infomercial that you see all the time on TV, is that most of those supplements contain contaminants. So we're trying to reduce our toxic load and the toxins we're exposed to, but these products that they're promoting to us as being really, really good are full of contaminants. Oh boy, what are we going to do? Right? What are we going to do? This is one of the biggest reasons I always turn to doTERRA, because I've been part of this company for 13 years and it's a brand I know I can know, love, and trust, because they will never compromise on ingredients. They will never compromise on ingredients, right? And there's research that's backing that the leading memory supplements on the market, like, hey, supplementation, omegas, things like that are really good for our memory. But 2 out of 3 of them that are on the market aren't what they say they are. They aren't what they claim they are. Okay. And so when we're starting to look at supplements, I'm telling you this not to be like, hey, doTERRA is the best and only you can take. In my opinion, they are, but also to understand that a lot of what is on the market isn't what it says it is, right? Plus, we go to a grocery store like that and the shelves are full of everything. One of the coolest perks of working with the person that invited you to this call or with a wellness advocate is we're going to help dial in and help you find what is going to work for you. All right, so what do we have for that? Just a second. Just a second. My thing just went away. There we go. Is it back? It should be back. Okay, so let's look at the solutions for you. Okay, so we kind of know, you get the picture. We need to fill in the nutritional gaps. We need to reduce the inflammation. What's out on the market, we really can't trust. But then we come in with the Lifelong Vitality formula. Do you know doTERRA actually doesn't make any money on this? Nope. They don't really make much money on this, but they know how much it helps in the foundation, and it helps with the other products that doTERRA you're using within doTERRA, right? So the Lifelong Vitality Pack is going to fill in those micronutrients that I was just talking about, those micronutrients, that calcium, that magnesium, all of those things that we're deficient in. It fills in those nutritional gaps. So it's kind of like we're taking the jigsaw puzzle and we're filling in the gaps. It contains powerful antioxidants to help protect our DNA, our cells, to help our cells, when our cells function, when our cells are hydrated and happy, they're going to function at optimal levels, and we're going to be able to create that foundation of health. They're made with whole food ingredients. So when we have something that is real and true, remember we talked about that at the beginning, when something is real, our body understands it. When something is synthetic, our body doesn't understand it, and it takes a while for it to process, if it ever can. These supplements are 95% bioavailable to your body, meaning this means that your body can actually absorb a lot of what's in it. Now, one of the biggest questions I get from people, whether they're looking at Lifelong Vitality, whether they're looking at any of our supplements that we have, as I said, you have to look beyond the label, right? I was just working with a nutrition coach, and he's like, hey, do you guys have a good vegan protein? I said, absolutely. Let me send you the link. But I said, one of the things you have to remember with doTERRA is that you have to look beyond the label. Number one, we're doing 100% full disclosure of what's in the ingredient list. Plus, when we incorporate those beautiful essential oils into our products and we use high quality sourced ingredients, your body can actually absorb more of the nutrients. So sometimes people look at our supplements and they're like, hey, but mine says I'm getting 10 times more than this. They're putting that in the bottle because because the majority of the average supplements is 20 to 30% bioavailable. Okay. Now we've got, if you don't believe me, I'm going to tell you after this class, if you signed up for this class, you're going to get a link to a page, right? And on this page, you're going to have the recording to today's workshop, plus you're going to have some resources there, right? So if you want to see the science, if you want to see the studies that I'm referencing today, go find the science. I'm not just filling your heads with a bunch of made up numbers that I'm pulling out of the sky. This is from research. So we might be natural options, but we're natural options mixed with the modern approach to give you the science behind what we're doing. There's so much science that'll blow your mind behind most of our products. Okay. So the average supplement, 20 to 30% bioavailable, right? Only 20 to 30% of what's in the bottle your body's absorbing. Ours are 95%. Okay. So look at some of these fun clinical trials from people that have used the Lifelong Vitality. This was my very first product that I truly fell in love with. Remember when I said I went to that wellness workshop and I was seeking solutions for my son who had eczema? Little did I know that I was going to be finding solutions for myself. And the person that introduced me to doTERRA was actually she has a double major in nutrition and sports nutrition from BYU. And she started talking about these supplements. I thought I was going to an oil class, and she's like, yeah, but you got to have these hot foundations. Right. And so she introduced me to Lifelong Vitality. And before I knew it, I was taking these supplements and going, OMG. It was this product that my body needed that I didn't know I needed, which I find is the case with many of our natural options. Because we're so used to being depleted, we don't realize what our body is craving. And so here's some of the fun things from that 60-day clinical trial. Mental clarity improved, energy improved, motivation improved, control, balance, happiness, cellular information, cardiovascular biomarkers, fasting insulin, inflammation went down. For me, at the time, I was a breastfeeding mama, and what I noticed was I had a huge boost of milk supply, which was awesome for me because then I could feed my baby. I also had a lot of digestive issues. My husband noticed he wasn't having that mid-afternoon slump. My teenager takes these for his endurance with being a teen athlete. So many great things for this. And what I find is if I don't take them is when I feel less. So if you've taken any of these and you're in the chat and you're on live, I want you to share in the comments what your experiences have been with Lifelong Vitality. Okay. The next thing we're going to look at that is also part of inflammation and nutritional deficiency is going to be our gut health, right? So if everything's working in the gut, right? If everything's working in the gut, a lot of our overall health issues are going to dissipate, right? Your gut is called your second brain. So if you're taking care of the gut, it's going to help balance your good bacteria. It's going to help break down the foods. It's going to help your body absorb more of those nutrients. And so let's look at these products, right? So these are some of our favorites. PB Restore, this is a newer one. We used to have one called PB Resist. We've always had a probiotic. They've enhanced it now. So it's got a time release. So it's not going to just dump into your upper GI tract. It's going to go all the way down, which is going to help, right? A lot of times if you does anybody have skin issues, or you've got like some skin spots, or maybe you need some help with your skin, I'm going to tell you, so you can't see it now. All you can see is that I have my hand looks normal, right? It looks just like my right hand. So I actually had a really, really severe case of eczema on my right hand. It was to the point where it was hard for me to wash dishes and be exposed. I couldn't use any oils on this right hand. I had worked with functional medicine doctors. I had tried all of the doTERRA stuff, and it would still kind of rear its ugly head. So when this product came out in last fall, I started taking the PB Restore every single day. I'm just going to see what this stuff has. Do you know that my hand has been clear since about 2 weeks after I started taking that product, and nothing has ever come back? I have heard this story over and over. I just got a testimony from another gal on our team that she was having some pretty severe acid reflux. She was living the lifestyle, she was doing all the things, but she couldn't even drink coffee. And this girl, like, coffee was her jam. She's been on the PB Restore since convention, since October, and she is like, all of her digestive issues have gone away because she gave her body that good bacteria that it needed. So if you got some more extreme digestive stuff going on, or maybe you're just feeling like you need to eliminate a little better, this is a great product. Again, filling in those, and here's the thing, when we poop and we get everything out, that's going to help with that inflammation. Everything's not backed up in there. Okay. The other thing is Terrazyme. So Terrazyme is going to help our body break down the foods that we're eating. Many times we think that we have food sensitivities. Hey, I can't do this kind of food, this kind of food, that kind of food. And that's because when we eat those foods, there's something going on in our digestive system. And so we can get to the root of what's going on with our PB Restore or Terrazyme. A lot of times those food sensitivities are going to kind of like dissipate because we're getting to the root of what's going on. Like, going on a diet that just eliminates all of those foods is probably going to that's kind of like putting a Band-Aid on. But what can we do to get to the root? So Terrazyme, okay, just a couple of things. The PB Restore, my favorite way to take this is after my evening meal and before bed. Okay, I like it to like kind of time release in my body when my digestion has slowed down overnight. That's when I feel like I have the best results with it. Plus, you get great elimination the next morning. A Terrazyme is going to be, you're going to take it with your first bite of food. So this is meant to be taken when you eat to help your body break it down. Now, Terrazyme is not something I have to take regularly because I'm kind of figured out a lot of my digestive stuff, but I do take this one if we're eating out at a restaurant. I'll take like 3 or 4 of them before I eat, like at the local bar pub in my town, because it's like heavy fried foods. My body's not used to it. If we're having pizza, something like that, I'm going to boost up the Terrazyme to help me with that digestive system. So these are just some more options for you for that digestive health, because I know that was one of the big topics that we had. And when our digestive health is in play, it's going to help with all that inflammation in the body. It's going to help with our metabolic processes and things like that. Okay. All right. So we have gone through a lot already. Are you guys like, whoa, so much good stuff? Remember, if you have questions, you're putting it in the chat. If you're watching this as a recording, I hope that you're jotting down notes so that you can get back and you can ask your questions and get curious to really figure out like, hey, what is my next steps? Because we're probably not going to tell you, take everything that I just shared, right? We're going to find that simple way for you to get started to give you the most bang for your buck and for you to know, to start off slow and really get into that routine of a healthier lifestyle. So now we're going to shift to one of my favorite topics, which is metabolic health. Now, if this is an area where you're like, Katie, I want more information on this, please let me know, because I have an entire class on workshop on just metabolic health. Okay, so we're going to first talk about sugar. Well, before I even go any further, when I say metabolic health, what does everybody think? What is your gut reaction? Because when doTERRA first started talking about metabolic health, I was like, metabolism, like losing weight, right? So metabolic health actually incorporates a whole lot of other things. And why is it so important that we talk about metabolic health? Let's look at a couple of things. So the first one is, let's look at sugar. Sugar is very prevalent in our American diet today. If you look, we had Valentine's Day yesterday, people. It was like the holiday with all the cupcakes and all the things, right? It's all the candies. My kids came home with piles of candy from school and all of these things, right? You look around, I go to sporting events, everybody's got a soda in their hand. They've got juices in their hands. They've got all 5-hour energies, all of these things. We are addicted to sugar in this country. Okay. Now I want you to ask this question. What percentage has diabetes increased since the 1960s? Does anybody know? Just take a wild guess. Does anybody know? And I think, Jill, you were on my class last month. Jill's like, I'm going to get Katie's answer. Nope. Jill guessed 60%. Joni, what do you have? I know that Joni is on today too. So diabetes since the 1960s has actually increased by 700%. 700% since the 1960s. Now, question number 2, how long does it take the average American to consume the same amount of sugar that our ancestors from 200 years ago would consume in a year? Almost, Jill. It's 2 something. Okay. It takes the average American 2 weeks to consume the same amount of sugar grandma probably consumed in a year. Can you imagine that? Sugar is one of the root causes of inflammation. Sugar is and a lot of people think, oh, I need to be keto. I need to go on this low carb diet. No, start looking at your sugar counts because our bodies need carbohydrates. They are one of the most important macronutrients to fuel our bodies. But this is where sugar is at, right? Start to check yourself. How much sugar are you eating? Maybe it's a little, maybe it's a lot. Where can we do? How can I do better? I have this knowledge. How can I do better? Okay. Now, this feeds into our metabolic health. Only 6.8% of the US adult population has optimal cardiometabolic health. That means 93% of Americans do not have good metabolic health. Now, this metabolic health, let's look at the 5 factors, the 5 key biomarkers of metabolic health, because, like I said, I used to think it was primarily going to be the metabolic health was going to be, just our metabolism, right? Like, oh, my metabolism's getting slower as I age. No, metabolic health, your factors are going to be waist circumference, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, right? Your glucose levels are going to be part of that. And those are the main ones. Okay. So it's going to be your LDL, your HDL, your cholesterol levels, your blood pressure, your waist circumference, and those are the 5, like if you put the HDL and the LDL, right? So that means a lot of people don't have good metabolic health. And when we have good metabolic health, a lot of our other functions in our body are going to fall into place. Do you know that if you can't sleep, one of the first things I tell people, if you can't sleep, check how much technology you're using before bed. And when was the last time you ate before you go to bed? Because what happens is we eat too late before bed. We have that ice cream, we have that cookie, we have that whatever. We spike our blood sugar levels, and then we can't sleep, because when our blood sugar levels are constantly going up and down, it's hard for our body to process. It's not only with those sugar levels, it's not only part of our metabolic health, it's also what's causing these type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, and going on and on and on. And it's what causes aging, right? So this is all, again, if you want the entire class on this, just let me know and I'll send you a link to that class. So this is where we introduce what we call the MetaPower system. It was specifically designed to create your cardiometabolic health. This is your macronutrient line. It pairs nicely with that lifelong vitality. Remember, they're getting the micronutrients, and it does 3 things. It addresses cellular repair that leads to the aging, right? So we're helping with our aging that we have going on. We want to live, because a lot of you are here because you're like, hey, I want to up my healthy lifestyle game. It addresses blood sugar regulation and supports the fat absorption into cells, right? So it's going to do a whole lot of things. So it will help you release weight, but it's not the Band-Aid that you're going to see from a lot of other companies. It's going to kind of come through those. The average American spends the last 14 years of their life in a state of declining health and difficulty doing everyday tasks. We don't want that. I want to live to be 95 like my grandmothers, right? I want to live to have that longevity where they were still out gardening and enjoying life until the very end, right? And so that is what this MetaPower system is all about. So I'm only going to highlight 2 of the products from this line, because these are the 2 that I find we can have the biggest bang for our buck with, and these are a great place to start. So if you started with a lifelong vitality and these 2 products, I cannot tell you, if you did these consistently for 1 to 2 to 3 months, you would be blown away by your results. Okay. So The MetaPower system, the first piece, the big key component is going to be this little sachet, right? I've got one right here. Maybe you can see me in the video. My video screen's kind of little. And this is going to be collagen. Now, a lot of people know, oh, there's collagen on the market. This one is a little bit different. It's going to help with brain fog. It's going to help with energy. It's going to help with a lot of other things. I have been taking this with my Lifelong Vitality and doing some other things for about a year, and I had a 26-point drop in my cholesterol, right? So I was in normal range, but I still had a drop in my cholesterol, and I had been doing all the other things, right? I just added in this advantage, and what you do is you just mix this in water and you drink it really quickly, right? It's not meant to be sipped. It's meant to be put into water. I usually take a shaker. I just had my shaker bottle here and I put it in the kitchen to wash it. But I put this in some water and I shake it up and I drink it, and I take my supplements, my Lifelong Vitality, with this shaker, with this, right? Super easy. I carry this in my purse. So if I forget about taking it, I've got it, right? It's also going to help with your skin, your nails, improves cognitive function, lots of really good stuff with this. Now, the next piece that I'm going to introduce you to, this is brand new. So this just came out 2 weeks ago, and this is upping the cardiometabolic health game a lot, okay? I did not understand, and I'm still getting to understand this. And again, this is going to be on your goodie page, a whole link to this, a little bit more on this, but the MetaPower Recharge is going to be a hydration supplement. So hydration, electrolytes, think of that, anything. I mean, there's tons on the market, but most of them contain dyes. Most of them have, again, feeding into that sugar problem, right? They've got 28 to 30 grams of added sugar for the average sports drink. No, thank you. They're full of red dyes and yellow dyes and all the dyes in between. So MetaPower Recharge is going to be part of that MetaPower line. It's part of something that's helping us with healthy metabolism. And what it's doing is it's hydrating our cells, because water alone doesn't hydrate our cells. It's very effective at hydrating, but sometimes we need a little bit of a boost, right? So what this has in it is that it's got 75 essential nutrients, including magnesium. Do you remember that magnesium deficiency number from before on the chart? It was like 57% of the population is deficient in magnesium, right? So magnesium helps with our mind, our mood, our hormones. It helps with so many. Just Google magnesium. You are going to find amazing information on magnesium, right? It doesn't have gluten, dairy, preservatives, or ingredients. And yeah, Jill says it's liquid. Yes, it's liquid, which means it's liposomal, and that helps with the absorption of it even more. So this comes in a little sachet. So I'm going to just show you. These are my 3 top products to start to get to the root cause. I've got a sachet of Lifelong Vitality. I've got a sachet of the collagen, and I've got a sachet of the Recharge. I am all about making our life simpler, not more difficult, right? So these 3 products, right? If I didn't do anything else in my health, I would do these 3 products, and I would take this, and I'm going to mix them together in my shaker bottle, and I'm going to take my supplements with it. Probably going to do it with my breakfast, right? Because in the morning we're dehydrated, we're the most dehydrated. So I'm going to do these 2 together. Bam. That is a routine that is less than 5 minutes. And it is at a nice price point, right? All of this. Okay. So that's just my little plug on Recharge, right? Okay, so what I have noticed so far with the Recharge, my sleep cycles are changing. I'm sweating more when I'm working out, and I just feel good. Like my rings are fitting. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my rings are fitting a little bit looser. Okay, so here's just some, like, I'm not going to go through a ton of these benefits of MetaPower. I already told you they're amazing. Like, look at these people's skin and some different things that went on. So, whew. Let's take a deep breath. That's been a lot of information, but I've got just a little bit more that I want to share with you. Okay. We looked at this at the beginning. Now, what I've gone through, remember, I want to help you get to the root of what's going on. Okay. So the root, the supplementation is really good. We're creating a foundation. We've got these issues going on. We're creating a foundation, but now let's start to incorporate some essential oils. doTERRA by in general, we are the largest essential oil company in the world. All of our products have those essential oils in them. So how can we use essential oils? Why would we use essential oils in our home? Let's look at the three cool things about essential oils. They're safe, they're effective, and they're affordable. Okay. They're safe. doTERRA does not add anything to our oils. We don't take anything out of our oils, just like all of our products, right? We're recognized as the essential oil leader in the industry because of our purity. If you look at the side of the bottle, we've got nutritional labels on the side that says these oils can be ingested. Okay. They're plant-based. There's no risk of addiction. They're pure. So you're going to get that medical grade essential oil. You're going to get the same results over and over and over again, which is not true for other brands on the market, right? We have ideal consistency. We're going around the globe to source our products, and we have over 54 tests to ensure purity and potency. Okay. Number one, so they're safe. Nothing added, nothing taken away. They're effective. Okay. They're effective because our bodies understand them, because they haven't had anything put into them or taken away. Our body understands them. Remember, I've been talking about this a lot today. Our body understands them. And when our body understands something, it can get to work and do what it needs to do. So if you're using other essential oils on the market that have had things put into them or taken out, they're not going to be as effective. You're not going to get those same results over and over and over again. doTERRA is working with hundreds of medical institutions and hospitals, and because of their purity, we're changing the way people think about essential oils. They are effective, right? So they're getting into the cells where the damage is at. We're hydrating the cells. We're giving ourselves micronutrients. And then we're coming in with this boost of targeted support with our essential oils, right? So we've looked at all the foundations. Now let's start to look at some targeted solutions with essential oils. So we've got these foundations, and then we pick and choose our oils on the day based on how are we feeling? What do we need today that we might not have needed yesterday? Okay. A couple of things I just want to share with you. This is a study, and you're going to have a link to this study, is that research from the Roseman University of Health Scientists did an independent study. doTERRA didn't even know that they were doing this study. And the doTERRA oils were found to be therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation, in metabolic health and healthy inflammation. The other essential oils from other companies had minimal effect. Minimal effect. The sourcing, processing, and characterization of the essential oils were critical. So cool. So that's why they're effective. That's why they're safe, and that's why they're effective. And let's look at they're affordable. Okay. So fun fact, each bottle of doTERRA oils has 250 drops per bottle. And your application, like if I need to use some lemon to boost my mood or some peppermint to help with head tension, I'm only going to use 1 or 2 drops per application. I just helped a mama last week help her daughter with an ear infection. She went to the doctor. The doctor said, hey, your baby has double ear infection. The mama says, hey, I don't really want to put her on what you're asking me to put her on. So let me try she says, I'm going to fill this prescription, but I am going to also try oils, and I'm going to try oils and see what happens. And guess what? I just checked in with her today. She didn't have to use the prescription, and her child did not suffer either. I think that's kind of a misconception we have sometimes. We're like, oh, but you're a mom that just lets your baby feel pain. No. We do not do that. But she took care of her baby in a natural way, which was really important to her because she didn't want her baby to have those antibiotics, right? She needed them. She had them, but she took care of that ear infection in probably about $1.50, right? with taking care of her ear discomfort. Okay, so now let's look at the 3 cool things about essential oils. Now let's look at how we're going to use these essential oils and what we would do. So if anybody, does anybody have immune support? We have different oils that are really good at immune support. So if I've got some immune issues going on, if I've got some icks coming into our house, if I'm trying to just keep our immune system boosted, these are some of my go-to oils that I'm going to use in my home. So these are kind of like my medicine cabinet oils. I might not use them. Besides On Guard and frankincense, I do use daily. Tea tree and oregano, I'm going to bring them out when we're not feeling well. Okay, I'm going to keep my body, these foundations. We're taking our supplements, we're keeping these foundations, but we're still going to need some targeted support. Now, On Guard is one that I probably have diffusing in my home all day long. It's one of my favorite ways to use essential oils is through diffusion. That's just putting the oils out into the air. Frankincense is going to be great for our wrinkles also, right? But it's also great for immune support. Now we go into our medicine cabinet basics. These are those basics I'm always going to have in my home. Lavender for when my kids get burns and bug bites, and lemon to help put a couple drops in my water, and so I'm not drinking the soda all day. Peppermint is going to be for energy and focus and hot flashes and headaches, lots of different ways to use that peppermint. Breathe is going to be wonderful for opening up my airways. These are different oils. And hey, when you bring oils into your home, we're going to teach you how to use these. We're going to teach you, we're going to give you a book and a box of oils, and we're going to teach you how to use these and how to be like, hey, I've got a headache today. What oil do I have in my collection that I can go to maybe instead of that OTC option? These are our favorites for pain. So if pain was one of the things that you were talking about, these are going to be my go-to. We've got the Deep Blue and the Copaiba that we can take internally to help, but then we've got Copaiba and the Deep Blue stick to rub on our bodies. The Deep Blue stick has been my son's best friend with his sprained ankles this season. And the other night, his friend sprained his ankle. And the next morning, my son was so cute. He's like, Mom, can I go drop a Deep Blue stick off to Jack? Because he wanted his friend to have the relief that he was having with his Deep Blue, because he knew his friend was in pain and might need a little boost. Okay, so these are some options. You're putting them on topically as needed, but we're also looking at the other areas as well. Now we get to our emotions. Maybe we're stressed, maybe we have anxiety, maybe we want support with sleep. These are going to be some of our go-to oils: the Balance, the Adaptive, the Serenity. The oils I just shared with you are our top 10 oils. They're kind of like the oils, like we've got like 70 different oils in doTERRA, right? These are kind of the top 10 that are like, hey, if you're getting started with oils, let's have these as solutions in your home. So when those little life emergencies pop up, you've got what you need to take care of your family. You've got what you need to take care of your body and be empowered. Again, you don't have to know exactly how to use all these oils. You're going to learn that as you go. We're going to get you connected to resources. We're going to get you connected to tools and reference books so that you can continue this journey. Now, I've had doTERRA oils in my home for 13 years. I think, something like that. And I cannot tell you how many times I reach for my oils every single day. And I know you're just getting started, and you might be like, oh my gosh, Katie, you really don't have an oil for everything. And the reality is I do have an oil for everything, but it's taken me a while to understand that fully. Okay. And so, like I said, we're going to connect you to the resources. We went through a lot of information today. We looked at the root cause of disease. We looked at why we're looking at natural options versus that modern approach. We looked at solutions that are foundations and why we have essential oils in our home. And when you bring it all together, you can create this beautiful synergy in your home and in your body that I think you're going to like, right? So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to spend about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to open it up so anybody can ask any questions or share anything that you want. How can I get these oils in my home, right? How can you get these oils into your home if you don't have them in your home? Okay. If you already have an account, You just hop into your account and you order. If you need help ordering, it's been a while, you're not quite sure, you need a reboot, make sure that you reach out to us. We do wellness consults. It's one of the cool things about being part of doTERRA. These are absolutely free, where we will help you create your plan, right? Because we have a lot of options and we want to help you create your plan that works for what your health goals are, what you're solving for, and also with your budget, right? Because we want to be mindful of both of those things. We want to help you get the best pricing on everything. So you already have your wholesale account, hop in and order. Ready to say yes? Maybe you don't have a wholesale account yet. The person that invited you here, they wanted you to learn a little bit more. So a couple of things that you need to understand when you're looking at doTERRA. There's basically 3 ways to buy essential oils. There's retail. Nobody does that unless you go to a chiropractor's office and they're like, here, buy this tube of Deep Blue. Nobody does that, right? Because it's only going to be retail. We have better options. We have a wholesale option. Now, a wholesale option is simply gives you access to 25% below retail. There is actually no membership fee now. I keep meaning to change this slide and I keep forgetting. There's no membership fee. You don't have any obligations to do what I'm doing. You're just getting your oils at the best pricing. You don't even have to order every month if you don't want to. So it's kind of a no-brainer that you're going to have a wholesale account. Now, once you have your wholesale account, we can teach you how to get your oils at even cheaper price by, how you ordering monthly and taking additional savings into account. But really today we're going to look at how do you get that wholesale account? How do you get started with that? So how you get started with that is we have different collections. So we have collections of oils where we have a collection like this one. This is our natural solutions kit. This is for the person that is like, hey, I'm ready to get these oils into my home. I'm ready to create change in my life. And so this one is going to have your supplements in there. It's going to have that Deep Blue and some toothpaste and, some different your probiotics and your Terrazyme and some different natural solutions for you. There is a lot of savings with this account, and this is what it would look like to bring everything into your home. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. You're going to have all those solutions. It used to be called the natural medicine cabinet or something like that. So this is going to have the biggest savings and be a big investment into your health, but you're gonna love it. We also have a healthy foundations kit. We can create an own kit for you. This one is like, if you're like, hey, I really liked what you were talking about at the beginning and you want to get some of that lifelong vitality, the meta power and the recharge together, we'll hook you up that way. You just want to get started with oils? We'll help you get started with oils. The sky's the limit. The biggest thing you need to know is we have pre-designed kits that we can take a look at, and we have custom kits. So all of these kits are going to include your membership. You're going to be having that wholesale price, but we're going to work with you to figure out which kit works best for you. Okay. Now, this part is for everybody. Okay. Right now, doTERRA has a bonus going on. So if you are already a current customer and you place an order of 200 PV or about $200, you're also going to get Supermint, Copaiba, and DigestZen absolutely free, which is a savings. I had this over here. It's a savings. It's almost $100 worth of free oils. Okay. Now, today is February 15th. So if you placed that order by the end of today, you would also get a tangerine oil for free. Okay. And your shipping would be free. This is if you already have an account. If you don't have an account, we're still going to hook you up with some really good stuff. And I want you to look at this. I had this, I thought I had, oh, here it is. Where is it at? If you don't have an account and we get you started for about $200, you're going to get those free 3 oils for free, the Supermint, the Copaiba, the DigestZen. You're going to get a little cute motion activated pebble diffuser. You're going to get $175 worth of free stuff. And you have access to 100 more when you place an order in March, right? So for people that are just getting started, or if you are a current customer that hasn't ordered for a while, check with us because some of these promotions apply to you. Okay. So lots of really, really amazing deals. We always have something and we always want to help you get the most into your home for the best value. Okay. So those are pretty much all the promotions. A couple of other things we're going to give you a guarantee. So for any reason you're not completely satisfied, you can return it in 30 days and you're going to get 100% product credit to try something else, or 90% returned back to your credit card. Okay. That's open product that you've tried, no risk. Okay. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not quite sure about this. Just do it. Okay. And what you can expect from our team. You're going to get a welcome packet. You're going to get personalized coaching. You're going to get continuing education. You're going to get ongoing support. You're not in this wellness journey alone. People pay thousands of dollars to work with health coaches and professionals and get put on these crazy regimens that are, thousands of dollars. That's not what we're going to do in doTERRA. We are here to support you, which a lot of people think it's weird, but that's just how we operate. That's what our culture is. And we want you to come and be part of our community so that you can better yourself and you can move forward. Okay, so that is really what I have today. Once you have your oils, you've got your oils and you've got them into your home. If you're like, hey, I want to share these oils, I'm just going to share this with you right now. We have more classes like this. I meant to put this in as a slide, didn't get to it today. We have another one of these workshops next Thursday, the 22nd of February. So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, I've got some friends that I want to invite to this, invite them to this. Or if you're on here and you want to learn how to bring doTERRA into your life a little bit more and then also share it with others, I can't remember it. We also have another, if you're curious about that, we have another class going on for that. So we have lots of opportunities to learn on our team and we're here. If you're watching this as a recording, down below, there's going to be a link for you to click to fill out a form for us to contact you so that we can get to know you more and we can help you get started. So if you're watching this as a recording, make sure you go in and you click that link. You're also going to be getting a link to that survey in your email. Make sure to fill that out. That helps us know where I am, what's going on and how we can support you. Okay. So Jill just asked before we wrap it up, I want this to be in the recording. Is the next week's class different or the same thing? It's going to be the same thing for anything that you see, which is Wellness Works Out, Foundations of Natural Solutions. That is this class, and it's really designed to teach people how to have a gateway into doTERRA and some of those core foundational pieces. As we go in through the year, we'll add in some specialty topics, but I also have a library full of specialty topics. So if there is something specific, if you want to look at just at your sleep or just digestion, let us know and we'll get you connected to one of those classes. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but if anybody has any other questions, let me see if I can get this recording stopped, figure it out. Okay, here we go. Everyone have a great day and look forward to talking to you soon.